I'm so happy you're here.
Oh my God,
Congratulations on your wonderful show. And I feel a little bad because the show is, it's about stand-up comedy. It's about how exciting it is to be in front of an audience. And I do wish you could have been here on a night where we had more people.
Oh no, 10 guys in the dark is home for me. Target demo.
This is your, because you've been a stand-up for a very long time.
Yes.
This is a wonderful show about stand-up, about what it means to be a stand-up. But as someone who's been a stand-up for a very long time, you have played in rooms where there weren't a lot of people.
Yes. I actually have played for, if you can believe it, negative amounts of people.
No, what is negative amounts?
Well, like in a building like this is 30 Rock, so like I have done shows that maybe like on nights where the only people in the audience would be like ghosts with wacky wigs.
Right, sure, the ghost audience.
Yeah, just when no one shows up and you kind of just barrel through right down.
So you're obviously being critically acclaimed for this role, Emmy nominated. Has that shown up yet insofar as more people coming to see you when you're doing sets, because you're still doing stand-up?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Like, if, I do like alt shows in LA sometimes, so like, I mean, like, when we got the news that we were nominated in this lovely way, that was at 8 a.m. And then at 8 p.m., I, bombed for 7 people several feet away from a dumpster. So,
Keeps you humble.
City of Stars, yeah. It really, so it keeps you, because stand-up doesn't really, I feel like it's so honest, it doesn't care who you are. And doing it in LA, their audiences are kind of just like, oh, you're an actor? So are all of us. Oh, you got an Emmy nom? Yeah, Chelsea Peretti was here last week. She killed, so good luck.
Well, I guess that is the sort of a trial by fire like that is probably very helpful. And you end up getting to work with Jean Smart. Jean was here singing your praises, but also strikes me as like, in a way that I think anybody who would work with her would want her to be. She also seems to like bust chops a fair amount.
Oh yeah. I invited her to one of my shows in LA, and I was telling her about the show, and I was saying, Natalie Palamides and Courtney Peruso, who are clowns, which for those who don't know, clowning is a form of performance art. It's a comedic performance art. Good, we got it all. Just wanted to get it out.
You're not going to get heat from the clown community. I think you laid it out with a lot of integrity.
Sorry, they're very nice. But I said, they're opening for me tonight. I have 2 clowns opening for me. And she said, oh, great, so 3 on the bill. Jean and I have this awesome little joke where she's mean to me and I'm in love with her.
Has it been, since you met all these people and you're so close to these people now, did she actually come when you told her clowns were opening for you, or did she?
Yeah, she keeps a low profile in the back, but she's so supportive, and all the cast really, like we all talk all the time, and we have a little group chat.
That's great.
And we're checking in. It's really lovely.
Has anything? This was also, it should be noted, which is hard to believe because you're so good and so natural in this, but this is kind of your first acting job. And has it changed a lot of stuff other than the fact that you have your Emmy nomination?
Yeah, I found like this really beautiful community online, which has been really lovely because like I have pretty low self-esteem and I can be pretty critical of myself. So when people online are like, I hate Hannah, I'm like, okay, I feel that. Yes, my community, my people.
That's so nice.
It's awesome.
Did you pull from people you met? Because again, you mentioned you're in LA, so you know a lot of comedy writers, a lot of comedians. When you were putting the character together, were you pulling from yourself or others as well?
I gotta say, the writers did such a beautiful job. She was so vivid. She was really all there when I first encountered her. But I think what I uniquely bring to Ava is probably cystic acne, red hair, and no upper body strength.
Oh, that's great.
That was important.
You ticked all the boxes they were looking for there.
And then they're going, oh, wow, I didn't really see this at first, and now it couldn't be any other way.
You've been a fan of award shows your whole life. You've had some thematic award-based parties?
I have. God, no other way to say this than just directly, but my bat mitzvah theme was Hannah Einbinder's first annual Friendship Awards. And I did give out awards to my friends.
Gotcha.
And
were they uniquely tailored to each friend? What kind of friendship award they got?
Yes, it was because I'm from LA. It was like everybody's got to feel like special. It can't be
Right.
No one can feel like they were snubbed.
Did you have any other before you got a job as an actor? I'm assuming you had other lesser jobs getting through your early stand-up years.
Yeah, I was a barista in the epicenter of douchebaggery in Los Angeles, and I had lovely coworkers who are still my best friends to this day. But it was a job that worked for me at the time. I was able to get absolutely ripped off caffeine during the day, and then perform at open mics in an almond milk soaked flannel by night. And so that worked with my schedule. But look, when you are in this body and working in the service industry, you encounter men who kind of take advantage of the power structure.
Sure.
I had this one customer who, he came in once and, he ordered a tea and I said, would you like it sweetened? And he said, oh yeah, I'd love it sweetened. Just stick your pinky in it. Yeah, so I brewed his tea, and then I just, I looked right at him, and I just sort of fisted his Earl Grey.
That's all right. I think that's very, very appropriate. Hey, congratulations on the show, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Oh my God, likewise.
Hacks is streaming on HBO Max. Emmy nominated. And the show's been nominated before you, obviously been nominated before you've won. But really exciting is some other cast members are nominated for the first time. Paul Downs, Caitlin Olsen, who's so wonderful. And it just must be so special. This is, again, you and Hannah are so wonderful together, but it is a brilliant ensemble. It just must be the best feeling.
Amazing. No, I mean, Hannah, she was, especially this season, was unbelievable. And I knew she was going to be nominated. But Paul and Caitlin, they're so incredible. And it's so overdue. And God, I'd just be thrilled if they win.
Very, very happy.
I mean it, that I would rather not win and have them win. I mean that.
You are a very good actor, and I actually believe you.
Yeah. I mean that. I really mean that.
I do believe it. You, we were talking about, your early days going auditioning in an apartment. You would think later in your career you would have like sort of, I don't know, higher quality auditions, but you and Hannah had to do a chemistry test, and it was the middle of COVID, and it was maybe worse than going to an apartment.
Oh, no, it was. I felt especially bad for her because, of course, we'd never met. I called her the night before and introduced myself, but we met in this soundstage, which, when they're empty, they're just massive. It's like an airplane hangar, and it was in the dark, for some reason, I don't know why, with like one light on a stand in the middle and two straight back chairs. I mean, it looked like someone was gonna be waterboarded, and then they brought in plexiglass to separate us because of COVID, and way in the dark, the producers were sitting watching, This poor girl had to come in and try to be funny, in that situation.
I mean, I guess the good part of that is that was maybe the hardest version she ever had to do, right?
Yeah.
If you can be funny and impress the producers, then and obviously it turned out to be a great call.
Oh my God, yeah.
You went from stage to, and you started doing sitcoms. And that's obviously different than Hacks. It's comedy, but you're in front of a live studio audience. Did you feel a difference between theater audiences and like television studio audiences when you made that transition?
Yeah, it's a weird hybrid of like doing a one-act play, but you're on camera. I mean, it's straight, and the audiences, they sort of get trained by the warm-up comedians to do certain reactions, because what. I'm sorry. No, but I mean, for instance, a theater audience, can you imagine going to a Broadway play and two characters kiss and the audience goes, ooh. Just,
Could you ever, in your early days of theater, were there ever times where you could, hear an audience's reaction?
Oh.
Like just,
sometimes, sure.
Talking to him?
Especially if, I hate to say this, but especially if it's a matinee full of a lot of little old ladies.
Yeah.
And And they tend to chat and go, what did he say?
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I was doing a play at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and I was as close to the front row as, you know, that edge of the stage right there. And my character was supposed to be a virgin. It was a famous play by Eugene O'Neill. It's a Moon for the Misbegotten. And they were in regular tone voices discussing whether or not they thought I really was a virgin. Like, this far from me. And finally, I just kind of went. And they're like this. I don't know.
Well, there you go. You know what? You paid your dues, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy you're getting the returns on them now. It is just such a delight to see you, Gene. Congratulations on another fantastic season. You guys, that's Jean Smart. Hacks is streaming on Max.